Hey, let me know if you can hear me okay. See, we got 3 people in. Oh no, no, it's 2. Oh well. Hopefully the volume's okay.
We good? Hear you clear? Okay. Okay. So, this is the continuation of the Pokemon Yellow playthrough. My goal is to have this stream be 2 hours. Most likely the first half will be Pokemon Yellow, and the second half or the last quarter, Super NES Classic or Wii. I'm not sure yet. Well, yeah, I'm using my Samsung. I think before I was using my internal microphone. Hopefully I sound clearer. Because what I was hearing from the previous stream sounded a bit tinny. See if I have any repels. No, oh well. So this is Victory Road, the final mandatory dungeon. It's not too hard if you can outspeed anything, but the Geodudes and Gravelers in this cave are essentially bombs, so we gotta watch out for that. The puzzle is very simple, and it's just, I mean, just a little bit tedious, really. The Eternal, like, can hear everything clear, yeah. Yeah, that was an oversight on my behalf. I misread the configuration on my capture device that I was using. It also helps that I have the place to myself for the next day, so I'm a little bit less bashful about talking. This is very nice for me. I rarely get any time on Saturday, so it's just nice to relax and play video games. The strength puzzles were always pretty terrible. This is simple. This is. I mean, the game is made for elementary school children, so I'm not gonna be too cruel about it. But this is. I mean, this is very simple. I don't like the Seafoam Islands puzzle. I just find that to be very annoying. I mostly like the map in this game. The puzzles for some of the dungeons are a bit tedious, though. This puzzle isn't hard, it's just time consuming. But I want to fry some bat. Oh. Oh well. If anybody follows Mr. Top 10 List channel, I wasn't in it. I provided footage for his most recent video, and I would say check it out because I thought it was really good. Grant says there was this one boulder puzzle in Silver that I hated as a kid, had to reset the puzzle over and over again, right? I have a funny feeling you're talking about the ice path, because several people have expressed their frustration with the ice path. I got my gold version repaired, so the next time I have a block of time to dedicate, I might try to do Generation 2 Pokemon. Play it kind of like with this game at somewhat of a relaxed pace. Not necessarily a speedrun mindset, but try to go for a little bit more efficiency than a long play. Oh, damn it. Please don't kill my Mew. Really want to get some experience here. Okay. You've got the shields. Let's see what item we got here. Rare candy. That is good for leveling up. Alright, we got a trainer here. I think she's a cool trainer. Some thought. I don't think this cave is very interesting, but the trainers here are a bit of a challenge. So let's try to fight a few. And more people in their whips. See how different I can make her look by changing the palettes. Let's see here. Blue. Yeah, we're playing Pokemon Blue version now. Proto Jesse. Make your own Pokemon creepypasta. Okay guys, you got me. My cartridge is haunted. Okay. I'm sorry, this is probably an eyesore. Yeah. But, you know, seriously, stuff like this is why you still hang on to your Super Game Boy. It's such a shame that these features, they just get lost over time. I don't think Metroid 2 is a very good game, but it looks kind of neat when you play it on Super Game Boy. The good old Haunted Yard Sale cartridge. You know, one of my friends in middle school was really into Fire Emblem, and there were parts where the game would freeze and the graphics would be corrupted. This was the Fire Emblem 7, the first Fire Emblem released internationally. And there were plenty of jokes about how that was the haunted Fire Emblem cartridge. Now that I know what I know now, it's probably likely that it was just dirty. Ninetales. I like Alola Ninetales. It's a really neat design. I still need to play Pokemon Generation 7 some more. Just, something about the pace of that game that did not suck me in the way the classics do. Not that I'm pretending the classics are perfect, but I think Pokemon Generations 1 and 2 were really good with pacing. Generation 1 was good with the pacing of the overworld. I think the weak point is the Sylph Company dungeon. Pokemon Generation 2 was not too bad with the overworld, but the older I get, the more I realize that the Kanto portion of the game, did I call Kanto like that? Kanto. The Kanto portion of that game is very uneven. It's a little bit too easy for its own good. I'm eagerly awaiting the 700 Club episode where they exercise a haunted game cartridge. You know, I wouldn't put it past Pat Robertson. I have a bad habit of calling him Pat Robinson, but it's Pat Robertson. Well, Geodude. You know, when I first heard the name 700 Club, I was under the impression that it was a show about surfing. Not that, I mean, just based on the name alone. Don't ask, I was very young. You know, it was gonna be like a fun club with California kids showing their surfing tricks. Not that. I don't want to get too political in these streams ever. Yeah, kick the rock. Oh shit, Hitmonlee's probably dead. Self-destruct is the second most powerful base power attack in the game. No, no, he's still clinging on. When I get out of this encounter, I'm probably gonna fight that guy. I thought it was gonna be a comedy show because it was always on after Whose Line on ABC Family. Well, the thing is, the reason why 700 Club was always on ABC Family is because before Disney bought, before it was now it's Freeform. Then it was but before that it was ABC Family, and then Fox Family, and then I think before that it was the Family Channel. And 700 Club was an artifact from those older days, and they had some kind of ironclad contract that made it mandatory that they air it at least once a day or once every weekday. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that Disney and Fox hated that during their ownership, because if you remember, anytime that show comes on, there's always the disclaimers about how the opinions of the show are the opinions of Pat Robertson and not the network, and they never advertised it. Ever. If a TV channel never advertises a show, that means that they don't want you to watch it, and that they're forced to play it. Anyway, Squirrel goes down. I want Charmeleon to be red now. Okay, besides Grant, we got another viewer in the chat. I'd really like to know who some of you guys are watching my stuff. Please don't be bashful. Participate. Let's see, how could they turn down the diamond mine money Robertson had, though? I don't think Robertson... I mean, I know you're joking, but I don't think people take him as seriously as he would like you to believe. The only people I know who watch 700 Club are over the age of 60. And they have very ass-backwards... They have a very ass-backwards view of the world. I can't imagine somebody under the age of 60 watching 700 Club. Actually, just considering how controversial Pat Robertson's political opinions are, I don't think any advertiser in their right mind would want to sponsor that show. That's the thing. 700 Club's where it always is. Tony! Good to see you. It's really nice to have you in the stream, man. Sorry I did not send you a direct link, but I had been wanting you to be a part of this. Okay, so we're gonna try to finish Pokemon Yellow here. I actually have a Saturday off. We're gonna try to finish Pokemon Yellow here, and then the after show I'm gonna play a little bit of Super Nintendo Classic. That's today's plan. But I actually have the place to myself today. 700 is the age demographic. That's where the name comes from. That explains everything. Okay, guys, I don't want to talk about anything political anymore going forward today. Just don't want to make this chat too dangerous. Slowbro leveled up, very nice. I remember some of the dialogue in the game calling the things that you push the boulders onto pressure points or pressure plates. I don't know what a pressure plate is. Gonna get tubed. You know, they're taking away our ability to get ad revenue in 3 days. So I already got tubed. I'm gonna choke. I think this is a really odd pose for Machoke. When I was younger, before I really analyzed the sprite artwork, I thought it made it look like it was flying. I see now that it's supposed to be crouching and doing its muscular pose, but it's so awkward. It really does make it look like a pile of rocks with a face. Anyway, my hermit crab is going to go battle the Macho Man now. He always looks like he's in the process of a shoulder slaw. Shoulder slam. I was gonna ask, what's a shoulder slaw? Is that like coleslaw? Meant to do drill peck, but whatever. I think my Injustice video helps my aching joints feel smooth. I'd say that the audio relative to the footage for the Injustice video is about halfway there. After the stream, I'm going to go out and do some errands, and then I was going to go back to working on it. I don't think it's going to be the best video, but I think it'll be adequate. Frankly, guys, I just been having some mood issues lately, and I think that can affect my voiceover a lot of the time. I really had to struggle to come up with the 5 or 6 minutes that I ultimately ended up with. It took it out of me. Just my general issues with moodiness. I don't like to a lot here, but you know, if you remember some of my earlier videos for software agents, I think there was a lack of confidence. I think it took a few months for me to really find my footing, and then I think I hit a groove, and I feel like I'm just kind of stumbling from a fall as of late anyway. I don't think I did too bad in the recent Halloween videos, though. Tony here actually gave me some good guidelines when I had to come back and redo some lines. He's very helpful in that regard. Rocco Myler is Tony Bowen. Oops, I revealed the mask. Hey, Killer Combat, how's it going? Thank you for acknowledging my comments on Bradley's recent video. I wanted him to be here, but he's not here for whatever reason. Yeah, Killer Combat, I'm in the very, very butt portion of Pokemon Yellow. My goal is to finish up with the game here. Yeah, Hitmonlee is a pretty cool Pokemon. I actually like Hitmonchan better, but normally when I run this game, or when I run games, I get Hitmonchan. So I decided to go with Hitmonlee to spice things up a little bit. One of the issues with Hitmonchan from a competitive standpoint is that he has special attacks, but his special stat is poor, which doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Because in Generations 1, 2, and 3, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch are all special attacks. They didn't become physical until later. So even though Hitmonchan has type coverage, he doesn't have the muscle to back it up. Hitmonlee is based off of Bruce Lee. Maybe in the name. I'm not sure if I see it in the design, though. He has no real head, just like the real Bruce Lee. No, his torso is his head. And he has no mouth. See, like, right there, Machoke's silhouette looks like putty. It's so odd. But Zapdos... I'm skipping Moltres. I really don't need Moltres for the Elite Four. Now I'm starting to get some encounters. Hitmonlee has no mouth, and he must scream. It's always good to get Harlan Ellison references here. Actually, Bruce Lee. I don't think that's a complete sentence. Unless the joke is that's supposed to be read as Bruce Lie. Bruce Le? Huh. Clones of Bruce Lee. Imperfect clones of Bruce Lee. So Grant, is the audio quality better here, just my voice, than the previous streams when I was unintentionally using the internal microphone? I think it's gonna blow me up. Better in every way. That's what I like to hear. Bruce Lee was an imitator. Okay. There's a lot of imposters. One of a million. There's a lot of imposters out there. Let's see what this item is. TM47. Is it going to be of any use? It's explosion. Yeah. I'm not going to make any use of explosion. Contain mega kick. We'll save that for later. I feel like I'm getting some really... Earlier it seemed to be pretty tame, and now it seems like I'm getting one every 5 steps. I'm not sure if it's just me, because I'm not 100% clear on the coding for Generations 4 and later. But I feel that Generation 4 especially has a really criminally high encounter rate. I haven't run any of those games in a while, but when I tried Diamond a few years back, I seem to just be running it into something every 3 steps. Almost like right here It's about as bad as right here. Maybe it's all perception. I'm not sure. Grant says, I'm really curious how they made sound / decided on them. Well, what I can tell you is that I think there's only 37 or 38 unique melodies, and a lot of them are variations on each other. A few of them sound nearly identical, as some YouTube people have pointed out. Grant, one thing I wanted to clarify you brought up last stream, because I wasn't entirely sure what you were talking about. You made some kind of crack about Nintendo selling pirated ROMs. Okay, so somebody pointed out a while back that it was some article somewhere that they could prove that on Virtual Console the copy. Yeah, okay. You were saying about in Ghosts and Goblins that the slowdown was not native to the game and was I think you were insinuating, possibly jokingly so, that it was bad emulation or something. What you are kind of confabulating that with? Well, I mean, first of all, Super NES Classic, those are all ROMs on there. Yes, it is all emulated. But just ideally, they shouldn't be bad ROMs. The slowdown in the Ghosts and Goblins, that's native to the game. I was used to playing versions of it where the slowdown is fixed, like on Capcom Classics Collection. But anyways, somebody in the first place. Somebody in some article somewhere pointed out that the version of Super Mario Bros. 1 on Virtual Console is most likely the ROM of it was taken from the internet, because in the game code there are identifier file, and the hexadecimal values were identical to a ROM that had been on the internet for a while. The whole irony, of course, is Super Mario Brothers is Nintendo's property, so there may not be anything legally wrong with Nintendo selling a pirated ROM of their game. That might not be a legal quagmire. Now, the reason for that may be, I don't think anybody at Nintendo's ever come out and say it. Shut up, phone. I don't think anybody at Nintendo's ever come out and say this, but it's entirely possible that the source code to Super Mario Brothers might be lost. Inconceivable. The other aspect that Nintendo's against ROMs and pirates. Conceivable because Super Mario Brothers was at the time the biggest video game of all time. It's like the video game Star Wars, I guess. It's a blockbuster piece of entertainment. But it seems that more and more often, developers in the 80s, they didn't do the best job keeping track of their game code. Off the top of my head, anytime Bubble Bobble is re-released, that made... I figured some of these old things weren't preserved. Yeah, they just kind of stunk at that. Bubble Bobble, for instance, anytime that's re-released, it's made from a modified version of it, because Taital doesn't have the source code for that anymore. It had to be reverse engineered from a previous version. Same thing with Sonic the Hedgehog 1, which is, I mean, it's baffling to me. But current versions of that, they're not made with the... They're either emulated versions of the Genesis version, or they're remade. Another one I can think of is Vector Man, the Sega Genesis game. Sega lost the source code for that, which is crazy because that game came out in '95. That's why the Virtual Console release was delayed for so long. I cannot take this egg down. Just pretty crazy. I seem to remember that was an issue with a few Capcom games as well. Excuse me, let's see what was sent to my phone. Okay, well, lo and behold, that was actually important. Hey, just a heads up, this stream looks like a stew of pixels and glitches. Alright. Okay. Is that better? Better? Okay, alright. Yeah, I made the video output quality a bit too high. Sorry about that. God damn it, Missing No, stop fucking up my game. Ah, I can't stay mad at you. See, it's funny because I haven't run into Missing No in this copy of the game. I think as I mentioned before, this Chansey is giving me a hard time. This might be harder than some of the later battles in the game. Because of the stupid evasion. But it has no real way of fighting back. This is just a stall battle. And I hate stall battles. There we go. Slam that egg. Beautiful. Oh, so strong. Don't be inappropriate. He's like 10. This is somewhat relevant because I will be fighting Lorelei soon. In a Pokemon Puzzle League, Lorelei says something along the lines of, what a cutie Ash is. That's so creepy. She's like 3 times his age. Yeah, that was in a game produced by Nintendo of America, of all things. They have very odd standards sometimes. Because Pokemon Puzzle League was it was made at Nintendo Software Technology, which is in Seattle. Alright, we got another battle here. I'm glad this dungeon is only 3 floors. It would be so tedious if it was any bigger. It's crazy to think that Silphco is bigger than Victory Road, which is the last mandatory dungeon. They got a lot better at designing these as the games went on. Although I think in Generation 4, there's just too much HM slaving going on in the dungeons. But the overall level design of the dungeons in Generation 4 and beyond was better. I think that in a lot of the older RPGs, there's too much of a feeling of making you feel like a rat in a maze. Ah, come on. Fully paralyzed. Slowbro has pretty good special, so it should be able to take a hit. but I don't know. Yeah, freeze that pepper. I forgot what I was talking about. I think Victory Bell looks horrifying. I always like Weepin' Bell's design though. Weepin' Bell just seems like a friendly little pepper. Hyper Potion, oh. This could be a KO. Yeah. Damn it. Not only does Razor Leaf have a good chance of being a critical hit, but Victory Bell is faster than Snorlax. So that increases the chance of a critical hit. Let's use Weepin' Bell. Hey, Weepin' Bell, I like this guy. Too bad I gotta drill him. I'm furious. So, you're Vin Diesel? Can't escape. Uh-oh. Can it? Nah. Can't take the hit. Nothing was accomplished. No experience, no nothing. Can I run away? Yeah. Alright, and I think that's the last one you need. Yeah, there we go. It requires strength to move. You have to wonder if they mean strength, the attack, or the concept of strength. I guess both. I've always wondered why strength... I mean, I haven't followed the anime in years. I've always wondered why that was an attack you never see in the anime. Somebody's messaging me. That is very good. My team is getting very beaten up here. Got away safely. Alright, I need to regroup a little bit. Let's see. And we're almost out of here. Well, the anime said Tail Whip was a quote-unquote attack, so I don't think they're experts. I've always found it disappointing that Tail Whip doesn't do any damage. I just think it should. Oh, that's it from you. At least I survived the battle. Yeah, we're done, we're done, we're done. Alright. I just feel Tail Whip should do more than just lower defense. Very silly. We are at Indigo Plateau now. But I really just don't think Mew is going to hold up to the Elite Four. Slowbro should do fine. But let's see if I have anybody that can strategically hold up against the Elite Four. Let's see, Mew. Slowbro will be the star of the show, though. Still think Killer Dactyl's too weak. Water gun throw. I read somewhere that the original Pokemon series company did Berserk, which is amusing, imagining them work on the farthest ends of the spectrum at once. I totally believe it. I mean, they both look like 90s anime. Where's HM3? Unfortunately, I don't think Ammonite is gonna be able to get much attack coverage at this point in the game. Pikachu, I sacrifice you. So normally when I get to the end of the main game, I usually spend all my money on healing items. That way it just makes things less painful when you lose against the Elite Four. 4 revives. Or rather, if you lose against them. I don't want to say when, that's a bit too negative. Okay, and that's probably all I can spend. So let's see. My strategy here, I think... If I remember the ways the AI in this game can be manipulated, I think Hitmonlee might stand a chance against Dugong. But after that, it's gonna get a little bit trickier with Lorelei. Is there anything I can teach Zapdos at the last minute? Sunny. No, let's just go. Hey, there's the creeper I was talking about earlier. Hey, you creep. I remember when I found out that my friend saved before each fight. My mind was blown. I always thought you were supposed to do it in one sitting. That sounds like something a kid would think. Reminds me of all those insane, stupid rumors about how you would unlock shit if you beat the Elite Four 100 times in a row without turning your game off. That's so dumb. Think about how much time that would take. Yeah, I gotcha. You goofy seal. Oh, no. Okay. There we go. Dugong gets baited into doing Rest because Rest is a psychic type attack, and the game identifies that as a psychic type attack, Dugong will have an advantage over Hitmonlee, but as we all know, rest doesn't do any damage. So the AI favors doing an attack that will not hurt me. So that's how Hitmonlee is able to stand a chance against Dugong, despite being dangerously underleveled. However, as we can see there, the AI will occasionally do takedown as part of its roulette. Oh, come on, hang on, Zapdos. Oh, that's really bad. Let's use Slowbro. This is when it's going to get tricky. Slowbro is pretty powerful, as you've probably learned throughout this run. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to wipe out Slowbro. Okay, Jinx might give me some trouble. In the Virtual Console re-release of Pokemon Yellow, Jinx is redrawn to be purple. Because Nintendo had that whole controversy with the Jinx blackface. Which I think is a little bit silly, but I respect their reason for doing it. Man, stuff like that, I've learned that Nintendo disowns any Pokemon anime episodes with Jinx, and that the recent Pokemon Season 2 DVD set doesn't have the episode when Ash meets Lorelei. Because she has a Jinx. I mean, that's crazy. If it's such an issue, they could just digitally recolor it. I mean, I don't like doing that, but it's just lame. Bro, Peekaboo is real, and my cousin at Nintendo said so. Great, your cousin works at Nintendo? That's wonderful. My uncle works at Nintendo. Maybe they know each other. It's a good thing Jinx is confused. I like how later games made Surf a tidal wave. Not the biggest fan of this animation. Super Potion. Body Slam. Yeah, you're done. It's better than Cyborg 009, where they replaced the blackface character with a creepy... I haven't seen that, but that sounds gross. You'll have to show it to me after the stream. Lapras. Zapdos should be able to fry Lapras. In Devilman versus 009 specifically. I haven't seen Cyborg 009 in a long time, so I just don't really have an opinion about that. But you'll have to show me. I'm honestly amazed that some of the racial stereotype characters from Dragon Ball haven't been changed on the Funimation DVDs. I'm glad that Funimation doesn't censor their DVDs like that. At least not to my knowledge. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. Blizzard has very good accuracy in Generation 1. And is an attack Lapras knows that can actually put a dent on Zapdos. I hate to admit it, but Ammonite, you're just a neat shield. It's funny because he has a super realistic face next to a guy with a broomstick nose and a tidal wave hair that's 8 feet long. I've always wondered why Astro Boy characters have silly noses. It just makes you wonder if the robot designer thought, yeah, my robot needs a nose. that'll really make him in touch with his humanity. Not just a nose that makes him look like a goddamn bird. Alright, Lorelei is down. And gotta recuperate a little bit. Well, Astro Boy's creator in the comics was like a rooster, so maybe there was a planned motif that was abandoned. I have no idea. I used to have a collection of essays about Astro Boy, and that might have been a good thing to have on hand, but I sold that a while back when I was very desperate for money. So I don't have it. You might be able to find one of those books. One of them I had, it was called Manga, Read All About It, which is a critique from the 80s about the process of manga. It was really interesting. There were also a few parts that were a little bit TMI to hear about, but it fascinated me at the time. I just had to get rid of it, unfortunately. There was a time about 6 years ago where I was unemployed and had no money. Okay. Let's see if my speed manipulation thing can work. Really? That's... Damn it. What is Nidoqueen's speed? It could be faster than Onyx. Fissure and Horn Drill, the game favors your Pokemon if it's slower than the other one, than what it's facing. So you can have a slow Pokemon with Fissure do a one-hit KO. It increases the chances of it hitting. Zapdos might be able to beat Onyx. Who's sending me a message? Grant sent me the... Okay. That's what the guy looks like. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's a bit egregious. And then before he had like a Mr. Popo face, I guess is what you're suggesting. Should be able to plow through him. let's just try to do some erosion. Honestly, after looking into it, most of the characters in the incarnation have a more realistic look, except for that one character, so it's not as jarring as I remember. Okay. Okay. I think submission is one of the few fighting type attacks in Generation 1. I think even Karate Chop was a normal type attack, which I think is crazy. You're defending and it's not going to make a difference. Body slam. That's how you beat the fighting guru. He's very sore that he lost. Agatha. I think this is Slowbro and Snorlax's time to shine. I need more hyper potions. I can't believe I forgot to use that rare candy. What would it be? I guess it would be best to use it on Zapdos. Alright, let's go up against Agatha. Oak's taking a lot of interest in you, child. You know, I just think it's creepy when an old person calls somebody child. Maybe it's a translation thing that doesn't carry over well. The old Duff was once tough and handsome. That was decades ago. Now he just wants to fiddle with his Pokedex. He's a wrong Pokemon for fighting. It makes you think that Agatha must really be into competitive Pokemon battles. Ryan, good to see you. I stole some of your Mortal Kombat footage for my Injustice video that I'm still working on, but I already have your permission to do that and you already knew that, so it's okay. Right now we're doing the final portion of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Yellow, pardon me. And then I'll do a little bit of Super NES Classic. But that video is going slowly. I'm a little bit uptight about the voiceover quality, but I think ultimately it will at least be decent. I hope you're using the utmost of salty parts. I use what I think worked. Alright. Bradley wanted me to use metronome, so we're gonna have a little fun with metronome. Oh man, that's weird. That's just a very odd thing to happen. I might have mentioned this earlier. When I was younger, for some reason, I was obsessed with teaching my Pokemon Substitute. I don't know why. Substitute. Gengar, you Substitute. You idiot. No, Hitmonlee, don't be confused. Okay, I'm gonna use my shield. I feel bad that I'm using Ammonite as a shield because we nicknamed the Ammonite after my friend Michelle, and you know, hopefully she doesn't watch this. Gengar may have one of the best designs in the game. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Alright. Mega Drain. Ooh, that's bad. I love Metronome as a kid, but would never use it, seeing as how half the moves aren't. Yeah. I agree with what you said, Grant. I butchered reading it, but I agree with what you said. Should probably save Ice Beam for Lance, though. Confusion is one of the most OP moves of Generation 1. It certainly feels that way. I didn't like being confused as a kid. That's for sure. Yeah, break already. Jeez. Lake doesn't affect Slowbro because of bad programming. It's supposed to, but it doesn't. Yeah, the simplistic design and coloring of Gengar works really well for the Game Boy. That's why it still holds up here. Oh, it is. Don't worry. I guess that's in regard to Confusion seemingly to be overpowered. Golbat. I wonder what the Zoo and Zubat and the Gull and Golbat mean. If there's a pun, I don't get it. Or if there's a meaning for it. His face always looks like he's peering out of the dark. Bradley once joked that Golbat's design in Pokemon Yellow looks like it died in somebody's pool and it's just floating there. I think that's funny. Alright. We'll use Snorlax as a shield as I try to heal Slowbro. LOL, wow. I'm assuming that's in reference to the dead Golbat in somebody's pool. Unfortunately, Snorlax just cannot fight back. It's bad. What's funny about the way Generation 1 works is that if Nidoqueen had any ground attacks, like Earthquake, that would have killed Haunter, because Levitate did not exist back then. Even though Ghost Pokemon look cool, I didn't think they were viable competitively until Generation 3, unfortunately. I've always liked Haunter and Gengar, but they're so weak to so many things in Generations 1 and 2. You can blast them with psychic powers, you can ground them up, they just seem to fall pretty easily. She withdrew Haunter. Agatha is one of the few trainers in the game that her AI has a subroutine that says, I think you should switch out. It's a bit odd. Is Nidoqueen gonna go down? Let's try to save her. Something about Generation 1 I learned recently is that we all know that Struggle is an attack that's in there when you run out of PP. That is to say, your ammunition for your attacks. Somebody discovered fairly recently that because of the way stuff is coded into the game, even struggle has its limits. I think that's interesting. It just seems the entire purpose of the Generation 1 games these days is to push them to their absolute limits. By people who are better at this game than me. Acid basically does nothing because Nidoqueen is already poison. It's even with the huge difference in levels, she has good resistance here. But I am stuck in that wrap. I've always loved the sound effect for Rock Slide. Yeah, I love that. Sounds like, it just sounds very video gamey, for lack of a better word. Rap, Fire Spin are stupid annoying Generation 1. They sure are. They are very broken in Generation 1. Did not mean to do that again. Oh wow. Probably shouldn't waste it all on Nidoqueen. That withdrew Arbok. That's a weird thing to do, but okay. I don't think Haunter can fight back. Surf. Hang 10. Smoke screen. He's like, oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's right, because ghost type attacks don't affect normal or psychic in Generation 1. That's how it worked. Yeah, I think Agatha's AI is a little bit more nuanced than Lorelei or Bruno. Definitely more so than Bruno. He seems to appropriately be a meathead. But that doesn't necessarily make her tough, just less easy. Level 60 Gengar. Might be a bit of a trouble, but I got that. Does that mean she's protecting Pokemon like she preaches? I don't know what you're talking about. Nah, it didn't work. And Nidoqueen has no way of fighting back now. Oh well. She was just there to soften things up. Was she the one before the fight saying Pokemon is wrong, or am I recalling things wrong? No, Agatha said that Pokemon are for fighting. If you're talking about Agatha. You win, I see what the old Duff season, you know? Yeah, I guess she's calling Professor Oak a butt. That's what I get. Yeah, my strategy for Ammonite is just to use it as a shield. It will take a hit. Now, it's very unlikely this would happen, but the part where the game... I'm not controlling red right now. The game is just walking automatically, and then it's going there. There are some weird circumstances where this part will not lock up, or I may not be able to get into this room. It's a very oddly specific number of inputs. If for some odd reason you can actually make it so that you can control the character during that part, but if for whatever reason you can't get into here automatically, the game will soft lock. It's another just one of those weird checks that's in the game. It's kind of like how I mentioned in Silphco. If I can't get up to, if Giovanni can't come towards me, the game will soft lock. If for whatever reason, it's very unlikely that it will happen, but it is still possible. But I really wish I remember how to glitch so that you could walk over there, because I did it when I was younger, but unfortunately I just don't have those video files on hand. I'll use the full restore later. Okay, next up is Lance. Lance is pretty difficult, because unless you got a Dratini in the game, which is kind of one of those things that you would have to know about in order to do it. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time in the game outside of getting Dratini at the game corner or catching it in the Safari Zone where you run into Dragon Pokemon. Yeah, I don't have it in the Pokedex. And the Dragon Pokemon, even though they don't have any type advantages yet, they have very good resistances. Dragonite's a very powerful Pokemon, and it has a pretty good move pool. Lance has 2 Dragonairs and a Dragonite, so it definitely makes him very tricky. I was always excited for this part of the game when I was younger. Mostly because, they use the gym battle music at other points in the game, but it just sounds very climactic here. Call me Lance the Dragon Trainer. Dragons are mythical Pokemon. They're hard to catch and raise. No kidding. But their powers are superior. It better not enter. Gyarados. I mean, Gyarados looks like a dragon. But that ain't a dragon. I'm gonna fry me some fish. Let's use Dragonair. It's time to freeze the dragon. Lance has Goku hair, wasn't it black and silver? I honestly don't remember. His character design, if I'm not mistaken, He has red hair officially. Fully paralyzed. That's not good. Oh, that's really bad. Ooh. Ooh, that's terrible. Alright. Time to stall a little bit. Revive. Just a little more Snorlax. Okay. I can sleep my way out of that if I wanted to. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Ooh. Please don't kill me. Snorlax might be able to take that hit. Nah. Oh, okay. Very close. Trying to shock me in my sleep. Wow. Hyper Beam. Oh, that's terrible. If Hyper Beam is a one-hit KO, it doesn't recharge. Hyper Beam is very broken in Generation 1. If you're able to beat with, I will be amazed. We'll see. Damn right you flinched. And he's Hyper Potion. Oh, what a bummer. Dragonair's still getting weakened down. Shit. Okay. I don't think it's going to do much damage, but we gotta see. Okay. Critical. That's very good. Dragons are resistant to electric types, is the thing. Ooh, that's bad. See how much damage Drill Peck does. Hey, not too bad. About to use Aerodactyl. Never understood why Lance has Aerodactyl, but that speed makes it fearsome. Aerodactyl would be even more brutal in Generation 2 when it got Ancient Power. Yeah, I've always liked Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl's cool. blizzard. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, that just having thunder really sucks for me. Okay, hold on. Oh shit. Oh no, that's it. Damn. Shit. I don't remember if I saved the game. Nah. Damn it. Really thought I would win with priority there. Just didn't pan out. Let's see how much money I have. That's a bit of a bummer. Do you guys want me to continue this, or should I move on to Super NES Classic? Whatever you want. The hell, I don't have enough money. Yeah, what would you guys like me to do? Continue this run or go with Super NES Classic? I'd like to see some more of this run. Tell you what, I'll try the Elite Four one more time, and if I don't make it, I'll move on. I could go on a little bit more than 2 hours, we'll see. So that would probably be 1 more hour of the stream, because when I do the Elite Four, it usually takes me about 20 minutes. Let's try it one more time. I won't, I think I held on as best I could. I'm not sure where I really could have done better. Double kick. You know, I think rolling kick has bad accuracy, if I'm not mistaken. So the bad thing is I used up a lot of my revives, because in my hubris, I thought I'd be able to make it. But the plus is that my Pokemon are all leveled up a little bit. The challenge in was having a slightly under-leveled team to fight the Elite Four with, but just have to see where this goes. How is fighting moves working on Dugong? The thing is, Ice Pokemon are weak against fighting types. I think I explained to you that the AI favors Dugong doing Rest, even though Rest doesn't do any damage. That's how my Hitmonlee is able to stand a chance against Dugong. It has type advantage, and the AI favors an attack that can't hurt it. It's a bit tougher with Lorelai's other Pokemon. Also, I use Meditate to increase Hitmonlee's attack power. Yeah, let's save the Thunders for later. I honestly didn't know there were Ice Pokemon this early on. I thought I was a move type. Maybe I'm just getting forgetful. There weren't a lot of Ice Pokemon. I mean, Slowbro is not an Ice Pokemon. But there's Jinx, there's Lapras, there's Dugong, there's Cloyster, there's Articuno. Those are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. Double Slap is stupid. Only Dark Steel Furry have been added since Generation 1. All Pokemon I never got to, so that's why I didn't know. There are Dark and Steel Pokemon in Generation 2, Grant. Fairy was added much later, like Generation 6. If I'm not mistaken. And the thing is, with Fairy, they retroactively made Pokemon Fairy type. Like, I think either Jigglypuff or Clefairy became a Fairy. Yeah, X and Y. See, I didn't play X and Y, so I wouldn't know. I missed out on X and Y. One of my friends told me that X was... No, I mean, I never got far enough to encounter an Ice type in Generation 1. Ice Pokemon are in the Seafoam Islands, Grant. Did you ever beat the Generation 1 games, Grant? I know you said that Yellow was the only one you played. Never beat it. Oh. So that explains it. Do you remember how far you got? Oh, Hitmonlee goes down. I always got stuck and never got to Cinnabar. X and Y are best since Generation 1 to me. One of my friends said that X is probably the easiest game in the series. I don't remember if I said this before. He said that he plowed through it his first time around about 21 hours, and it gave him no trouble whatsoever. And I don't think he's not a bragging type. He can be a little goofy, but he's not a bragger. But easy doesn't necessarily mean bad. Yeah, Nido Queen's done for. This looks really bad. Well, to be fair, no Pokemon game is hard. That's true. Some are just less easy than others. That was a really bad standing. Early today, my apartment complex, one of the reasons why the stream started later than I had expected, is because my apartment complex decided that would be the perfect time to do a fire alarm test. I want to know who makes these decisions. I think the hardest Pokemon game for me would have to be Ruby and Sapphire, but not because they're hard. I just find it to be a little bit more difficult than some of the other games. The easiest from what I've played would have to be the Generation 2 games. They are not that difficult. Trying to hit me with an attack that will not hit me. Bad move. Okay, well that can hit me. I'm gonna send my Ammonite against Onyx. No, that's not a mispronunciation. Ammonite is an Ammonite. That's the pun? Wow. A little snail that could. Leer. That makes it different. Wow. Ammonite might actually beat Machop. Machamp, pardon me. Well, spoke too soon. that sucks. Just a little more Snorlax. That was unbelievably terrible. It's like I'm 8 again. Yeah, kind of discouraged, honestly. Let's see what money I made. I'll just get some healing items, and then I'll probably just change to Super NES Classic now. Let's see, max potion. I'm really just trying to analyze where did I go wrong. I think I probably used revives too much on my weaker Pokemon, when I really should have been saving them for my stronger guys. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, I'll stop here. I'll complete this run. It's taken 5 years, but it will be completed. We'll spend the next 40 minutes on Super NES Classic. What do you... be sure to refresh the stream soon. What would you guys like to see me play on Super NES Classic? Don't say Super Ghosts and Goblins. I'm not good at it. Refresh. I'm going to change the input. Hey, can you hear me okay? Me okay? Loud and clear. Alright. Hold on one moment. Watch the demos. Yeah, of course it does Super Ghosts and Goblins. How about... Okay, and I'm back. Alright. In a few minutes, I will play whatever you guys want me to play. I'll let you vote. Let's see. It was four. Oh no, it's three. Okay. Let you guys vote on it, and yeah, just keep in mind, I'm only gonna dedicate 40 minutes to this if there's an RPG request, but I need to practice before I do Super Goals and Go, so do not ask me to do it. I will not be playing that. I refuse. Ideally, I like something that I haven't done in stream yet, but I think I've done all these. I think the only two holdouts are Link to the Past and Secret of Mana, honestly. Oh yeah, well, there's also Final Fantasy VI as well. I have not played that. That and Super Mario RPG. But the problem is that those games take a lot of time. Kirby's Dream Course seems pretty light. You want to see me try that? I'm done with my snack here. Okay, I played that in stream before, but that's fine. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, just give me 5 minutes to finish my strawberries here. I guess I'll put on the demos for your amusement while I wait, while you wait for me. I wish it would stop doing super goals and go, so I might just have to delete that save file so that people don't have to see my crappy playing. Is the audio and the picture okay? Saul Goodman. Glad to hear. And I still need to finish season 3 of that show. By the way, I'm not playing anything. It's just doing demo mode right now. Screen is squished. I'm not sure how to fix that quite yet. You can try experimenting with settings, profiles. It looks like mistakenly I made the output 320p. Is that looking better? Super Mario Kart. That's not what I'm trying to play. Okay. Okay. Kirby's Dream Course. I like great at it. I really have to get into a groove in order to be good at it. The last time I streamed Kirby's Dream Course was on my 27th birthday, and I think I did all right, but I don't think anybody was watching it really. Uh, but this is a golf game, and you might wonder, my first time playing this a long time ago, I was just thinking, what the hell is this game? I thought golf games were lame at the time, with the exception of Mario Golf. But it's this one's grown on me. Um, I have been able to beat it. It's just I'm a little bit out of practice. But let's see how I do. Really trying to go for those hole-in-ones here. This game has to be played very methodically, because screwing up on one course can really cost you the entire game. Oh crap, that's terrible. I was going for the hole-in-one. So anytime you swing, it uses up a tomato. If you lose 4 tomatoes, it's game over. So you really just gotta watch the aiming and the power of your shots. See, 3 hits for that's terrible. I'm off to a very rocky start. I've been able to do hole-in-ones. This stinks. Maybe I'll fare better here. That's a little better. Oh, give me a break. Okay. But yeah, my experience with this game, I thought it very odd and possibly lame the first time I played it. But this one really grew on me. Michelle Robinson, who does a lot of the graphics and what have you for our videos, this is one of her favorite games. And she and my friend Matt were 2 people who really suggested I give this game another look. Ooh, can we get in there? Can we get in there? Can we get in there? Almost. Oh, lame. Okay. Wasn't intentional though. No, let's just see where. Does I mean that's still not aerosol down here.